Hey everybody, how you doing? Am I on? I'm on. Oh, I got my little cord here. I think I need an engineer. Oh, Leslie the Little Plazz, Zazoo Plazz here for my weekly report. What is it? It's Labor Day weekend. It's oh wait, now I turned the page here. It's September 3rd, Sunday of Labor Day weekend. And I got a big mess here. I see, if there's any doubt that this is a Zazoo Plazz production, you've got it right there. Okay, I'm gonna try to put it over here. Is that gonna work? Okay. It's like that scene in My Big Fat Greek Wedding, where John Corbett comes into the little travel agency and Nia Vardalos, she stands up. She's like, "Do you want some pamphlets?" She gets the cord. In the days before wireless, we had these cords. She had her headset on. Anyway, I just thought of that. Oh man, this isn't gonna work. And this is Virgo for you, Virgo season. And we are, some of us Gen Xers, Pluto and Virgo generation. Up until 71, I think, 72 when it went into Libra. The quest for perfection is ever present. I'm just going to let that go. You know what? I'm just going to let it go and focus on the full moon. You see that? I don't know if you can. Yeah, you can see that. That's a full moon right there. It's slightly off full, but the other night it was definitely full moon in Pisces. And yeah, so there's some vibes, some stuff going on. I got my patriotic, it's Labor Day weekend, so I got my Be You Stay Amazing shirt on. This thing is so old. I think I was wearing this 2 years ago in my Zazoo reports. Time for some new shirts. I'm getting sick of looking at those shirts on you, lady. Get a new shirt. Okay, I'll go to Savers and get some new shirts. But I hate shopping. Anyway, unless it's Savers is good. If I can find some new stuff that's, cool. They have all kinds of vintage and brand name stuff there. I never get bored. My mother used to take me shopping, back to school shopping. We used to go to this place in Manchester, Connecticut. It was called D&L. Before Kohl's, it was D&L. It was out of New Britain, Connecticut. It was where my mother-in-law was from, New Britain. And it was a large Polish population there. That's why. My husband's Polish descent. Plazek is Placek is a Polish name. So anyway, I digress. It was Davidson and Leventhal. Leventhal? I didn't know. It was D&L. There was the little plaza we'd go to. There was a place called Shady Glen where my parents loved to go there. That's where their first date was in the 50s. But back then they used to have a little store in Bolton, Connecticut. And that was the only one. And then they got another one down at the Manchester Parkade, which has since closed. It closed during the pandemic because nobody was going out to eat, so they had to consolidate. Anyway, so we used to go shopping. My mother would drag me there. We'd go to D&L, or what other stores did she take me to? Well, there was Sears. It was in the same place. We didn't even have the mall then, Back in the 70s when I was little, there were just certain, stores you went to near where you lived, and you'd get your clothes. And I think Lord and Taylor was around. I think my parents, when I was real little, they might have got me a couple outfits there. And I forgot about that place. And then, as I grew up, they didn't get such fancy things for me. I had a few hand-me-downs, but, it was usually just regular stores until Catholic school, middle school, 5th grade. Then I had, then it was uniforms right up through the through senior year in high school. So, that was easy. But, then she'd pick up things for me. I don't know. My mother had a way about shopping, and I remember being so bored as a kid, and I'd hide under those little carousel things, the clothes things that, I don't know, I think they went around. So I'd go under there and hide and peek out. Drove her crazy. She couldn't stand shopping with me. She'd go to Hit or Miss, which was some, ladies store. And I would be so bored out of my mind. I'd be going in and out of the clothes. Trying. I was just so bored out of. I just remember the boredom level was. I don't know. I'd poke around, look at the mannequins, be in the mirrors, hiding behind things. She couldn't find me. It was loads of fun. I was not the kind of person you wanted to go shop with. Anyway, not the kind of kid. I drove her nuts. Because my mother, she had a system, but she was slow. She was Capricorn. So everything was deliberate, Me, I go shopping, I'm over here, I'm over there, I'm over here, oh, but that, oh, that would go with that. Oh, that's how I shop. Well, now I shop a lot online, so anyway. I'm really all over the place tonight. Anyway, I got to get some yayas out. It's full moon. Where are we? Jeremiah. Oh, before we get into the Bible, readings, I've kind of been doing a lot of posting and thinking about Jimmy Buffett this weekend. Even though, I wasn't a parrot head, but just some of the songs that I remember growing up hearing, like Margaritaville, and then, just over the years, it's, he made an impact. A lot of us. I remember one time we have this shopping center in our town. It's one of those walkable ones, and they have a place where they give concerts. My dad's in the band, the community band. He plays the clarinet. So sometimes he goes over there, but people could walk around, go to the concert, go to restaurants and shops and things. So a few years ago, they had the Jimmy Buffett tribute band. And there's all these older than us, boomers, probably that crowd, that age bracket. And we were with the kids, but there were people wearing parrot hats and Hawaiian shirts and, walking around sipping cold drinks. And it was Margaritaville here in Connecticut, which my uncle lives down in North Carolina. He's like that all the time. Now, he used to live up here, but now he's retired. Now that he's retired, he's about 80, I think, almost 80. And he goes around with his Corvette and his Hawaiian shirt, and he goes to shag dancing and on the beach. So I don't know if he's a parrot head, but he's he's definitely in that crowd. My dad's younger brother. So, but he's cool. He's all right. I used to work. I had a systems consulting job back in the 90s. I think late 80s, early 90s. When I would go and do a job at a company and then go to another company and do another thing. It was IT stuff, systems type of things. Things in finance departments where I'd go and do Excel spreadsheets and get it, fix things and move on. So I worked for this guy. It was a health insurance company, a big one in Hartford, and he was, of that baby boom generation type, one of the big bosses, and it was, I don't know why I always think of him when I hear Jimmy Buffett, because he was a big Jimmy Buffett fan. This guy I worked for, I think he was a parrot head. I don't know why, because whether he was playing the music or whether I thought of him It was his birthday one time, and I don't know, he was he was one of those. Anyway, I digress. I don't know why I think of that guy, but somehow he's associated with Jimmy Buffett in my head. You know how that goes sometimes? So anyway, anyway, so I went there. Oh yeah, so we're, it's my son's 23rd birthday on Tuesday. He was born on the 5th. He is, yeah, so 23, wow, I have a 23-year-old almost. Just moved into a new apartment down near the shore in Connecticut. And, you know, of course he moved in, he took the minivan, and so he and his younger brother, who just also moved up into a new apartment up at campus, up at UConn. So there's, say, you want this table? I don't want that table. They're trading furniture back and forth, and it's just brothers. It's cool though. It's a very Gen X thing. Like, oh, I don't want this. Do you want this? Will this fit in your place? I can use that, which is great. Why go out and buy a whole bunch of stuff when our actual home is, it's a storage bin. It's a storage locker of, crap from my husband's parents' house, which he is getting ready to sell because, they both passed on. So we have stuff from there that's making its way. It's like our house is like it's like the warehouse. It's like Amazon comes and picks stuff up at our house and brings it to all these other places. And then, so we actually had somebody, realtor, come and take a look at our house this weekend, because we're getting that ready and thinking, well, maybe, it's a possibility my husband might take a job in another state. We're in the middle of all of this uncertainty, I guess you could call it, right? Without going into detail, we are in the middle of it. So maybe you can relate, So this guy, and you can learn a lot by people coming in your house who have no relation. They're not family, they're not friends. It's just some guy, who's like the son of the top realtor in town for years. He's coming in your house to give you like a buyer's perspective. What is a stranger coming in my house? I mean, this is humor right here, right? It doesn't get any funnier than my house. But the style of my house right now is something went down here. There appears to have been a struggle. It's still going on. Kind of like Monster Truck Rally meets Boy Scout Camp, meets The Walking Dead. Anyway, all right. Where was I? Okay. So my husband, in 1998, we painted our upstairs bathroom. I said I wanted a spa. So he painted it like, one of those Italian spas with that off-white paint, which was the style at the time. Flash, up 25 years later, I should explain. At some point in the late 90s, I thought it would be a good idea to put a wallpaper strip, those little topper strips up at the top of my bathroom. My spa, as we called it then, for about a year. And then, so a couple years later, I got really tired of it. And I said to my husband, oh, let's do the bathroom again. No, because, we had the kids, and I can't think about that. So this realtor walks into that bathroom, the one that's got, now the mirror is all, it's discolored, everything's discolored. It's like, and then he looks up at the ceiling, and we have not painted the walls. He said, what's that line and all those like chipped pieces of paint at the top of your bathroom wall? My husband says, well, that's where my wife decided she was really tired of the wallpaper strip, and she just tore it all down, just ripped it off. I did. I'd get to the point where I was so tired of whatever, and he wasn't going to help me out, you know. So I said, well, I can't stand this anymore. And I would just go and, you know, if it was blinds, I'd just rip them the hell out. He'd come home from, he came home from a scout trip once, and I had decided I couldn't stand the squeaky table he put my computer on in the basement. I was alone. He takes the boys, go off to scout camp for a week. I'm alone. So I decided I was going to get rid of the damn thing. And it was this big, heavy table, you know, and it was squeaking. I was trying to do my work, and it was like, you know, wobbly. So I took the damn thing, took the computer off, decided to unscrew the legs, hack the whole thing off, put part of it out at the curb. He comes home. There's this, like, you know, discarded pieces of table, you know, all over the basement where my desk used to be. Anyway, yeah, so there's that. So, you know, my husband and I have had these battles over the years where I want to decorate and he's not listening to me and he's not willing to come along, so I just take matters into my own hands. That's what I do. Yeah, okay, so now the readings. Was it Jeremiah? Oh, so, you know, there's this prophet, Jeremiah, Jerry. He's talking about, he's got this fire burn. He says, okay, and I'm going to stop talking about God because, you know, people are making fun of me, right? Isn't it like today? It's like, okay, I want to be popular on social media, so I'm not going to bring up anything spiritual or anything, you know, that might make people uncomfortable, like talking about Jesus or talking about spirit, universe, full moon, astrology, things that I really burn inside of me, that I love, right? He's saying, I say, I'll stop talking about that, but it's burning him up inside, right? He's gotta talk about it, or else, you know, he's gonna explode, right? So, like, what are the things, and it doesn't mean just about, you know, God is everything, right? Source, everything is God. So, like, what burns inside of you to talk about? What gets you up in the morning, you know? What lights your fire, so to speak, right? You know, and we all have that thing, that cause that, you know, we burn for, that lights us up inside, right? For me, it's this stuff, talking to myself and howling at the moon, and, well, I'm pretty safe over here today. Yeah, so that's part of it. In other words, do you try to, you know, do you lose yourself trying to fit in, trying to be like all the other kids? What's different about you? That's what we need to see, right? And I gotta follow my own advice, because sometimes I'll get on, you know, with somebody else's page or somebody else's live, and I'll be like, hey, I got a great comment, but nobody hears me. I get drowned out, you know, so I gotta do my own thing. Like, if I want to hear myself and not get drowned out, I have to do this, you know? I have to make space for myself to be heard, right? Because this world runs right over people like me, because they don't see my value. But I see my value, and I have value, and I'm putting it out there. So I say to you, what's your value? And we need that. We don't need to bury that. We need to see it. So anyway, yeah. So then, so the other reading is, okay, Romans. Paul to the Romans. We offer what is God's will. It's not really good to say. The will of God. Yeah. And the whole offer our bodies to God. What is God's will? Yeah, so what does that mean? Is offering our bodies to God, you know? In other words, not what, do you do what you must do? what you're here to do? Or do you do what you want to, you know? I mean, every person has a unique purpose. It's on us to find out what that is. See? So you can't look at somebody else and say, you know, they should do this or they should do that, or, you know, it's not what we want. It's what God wants for us. See, it's like, okay, think about it. We're all in a big play, right? This earth is Shakespeare. You know, life is but it's a stage. We're all playing a role, right? So we're all actors, and each one of us has a particular costume, a particular, you know, that's our ego. What do you see? A particular personality, a style, something that's unique to us, right? And then there's other people playing their roles, right? And that's what it is. You're not supposed to play somebody else's role or say, you shouldn't be, you know, you shouldn't be suffering. That's not, you know, I don't want you to suffer. Well, how do we know that, you know, the universe means for that person to suffer because they need to learn their lessons so that they don't have to come back and do this whole thing all over again. You see what I mean? So when you're praying for somebody, you say, you know, so-and-so is sick, you gotta be careful. And, you know, one of the things I've learned is, you know, to always say, according to God's will, or by the grace of God, or under grace, with harm to none. Because you don't know. It's like going back in time, right? Like the quantum leap guy, or, you know, Marty McFly going back, right? He messed with some stuff back there, right? He actually changed the future. So it's kind of like that. You can't go messing with other people's paths. You're responsible for your own. So that's what I've come to. And, you know, it's, oh yeah, and then here we are, we're still in Matthew 16 this week. The get behind me, Satan one. Isn't that special? Isn't that special? Remember that church lady? Dana Carvey, oh my God. Yeah, so Peter is saying, Jesus is telling them, okay, you know, all this stuff is going to go down. All this has to happen. Somebody's going to kill me and I'm going to have to suffer. And Peter's like, no way, no, nobody's going to take you. Nobody's going to hurt you. He said, get behind me, Satan, right? Because that's, in other words, that messes up God's plan, right? If you question your suffering is the thing that's helping you the most. It doesn't seem that way. It seems like we want to go through life and not have anything bad happen to people, right? Especially people we love, our friends. You know, Jimmy Buffett, you know, artists that we love, who are close to our hearts. Sinead O'Connor, Bob Barker. Well, he was 99, so he did it. He's, you know, that's you know, and it's all got a pattern. It's all got a purpose. If you look at, you know, I was listening to a Jimmy Buffett song called Come Monday. It just popped up. And he's talking about, you know, going up to San Francisco for Labor Day weekend. I'm like, maybe on some level, his soul, as he was writing, you know, because he was a good songwriter, maybe his soul knew he was going to die on Labor Day weekend. So there are the lyrics, you know, and it doesn't take a rocket science. You can, if you look deep, instead of looking wide, go deep, you know, and look at things. Really look at things and how all the pieces, you know, instead of reacting to everything that goes on, shut it all off, go into a quiet place and like a surgeon, whoo, pick it apart. That's what I do. Look at things with a fine-tooth comb. I love that. Look at things with a fine-tooth. What is a fine-tooth comb? And why? I guess like you're nitpicking, right? You're looking for, no, never mind. Yeah, so, there's that. And then, so the song, I was thinking, so Jesus is talking to Peter. Now, obviously, he's, you got to deny yourself, right? Peter's not seeing the big picture. And Jesus is saying, whoever loses his life will find it. You lose, in other words, this whole world is fleeting, it's passing, it crumbles, it's not lasting. If you do, work on the things that are lasting. This is Virgo season. Virgo is all about service to others, right? Self-denial, self-deprecation, and it's the Virgo Pisces axis in the astrological chart. It's all about healing, right? And boy, do we need healing. We need to be kind to each other, and most of all, to ourselves. All right, so I got to get the song. All right, so I was reading, and it's something about parched land and being thirsty, and I thought, oh, America, the horse with no name, going across in the desert. That was when I was a little girl. I remember that song, the horse with no name, And then I'm looking at America. I said, that's not quite right. It just didn't, I don't know. It didn't fit. And then I'm looking at America and it said, that song that came out in 82, You Can Do Magic, which is perfect for today. It's perfect. Oh, the moon moved. I gotta move with the moon here. I don't know. The moon moved up. Yeah, so America, Labor Day weekend, America, right? Patriotic. Summer of 82, July 6, 82 was released as a single from the album View from the Ground. I was going into my junior year of high school. 82, yeah. I was 16 when that came out. So I remember hearing this that summer at the beach, hanging out with my friends, and You Can Do Magic. Yeah, it got up to 5 weeks on the top 40 in August 82. Got into the top 40. It reached number 8 in October 82, 41 years ago. So that's cool. You can do magic. You're the one who can put out the fire. Wow. So that's what I said. That's it. And it's, Peter was thinking Jesus could just, you figure, he's God now. He can just snap his fingers, right? And no more suffering. But that's the thing. The suffering is what you want to go into. If you didn't go into that, you wouldn't have risen, right? We wouldn't, So this is the time. If you don't, not like you want to go and suffer on purpose, but if something happens to you, you can say, oh, if you can suspend your opinion on if it's good or bad and just say, it is what it is, right? It is, for what purpose is this thing happening, right? And not judge it. Just kind of view from the ground, view from above instead of the ground, right? Sure, Jesus could have had angels come and, deliver him away from it. But that's not why he came, right? We didn't come here for the easy ride, right? Just hanging out on the beach with our, shrimp boiling. Stepped on a pop top and blew out his flip-flop, right? Jimmy Buffett didn't have a perfect life. He had his problems. Some woman, it was her fault, and then it was his fault. And once he decided it was his fault, then things went a little. See, the woman's always right. The wife is always right. Anyway, so labor, right? This is about manifesting this song. You can do magic, right? You could, it doesn't mean it's always easy, right? But you can do magic. You can create yourself, right? It's work though, it's labor, right? Labor Day weekend. But at the end, see at the end of the video, it's all, cards. And the Joker comes up on top, right? And they're all like playing in heaven. Watch the video. I've got the link down there. It's just so cool. It's just so perfect. We're, it is labor pains. We're birthing a new world here. So, I gotta go have a couple of my, there's the plane, enchiladas this weekend and listen to America. And hi, there's a plane right there. A plane. And that's the end of the Zazoo report. Have a great week, and take a day, enjoy your day off work, and remember, go do some magic. Magic. See you next week. Bye-bye.